connected. It's all connected. So I want to play this clip here from Vice. Yep, from the Vice Network about a male model. It says, I was sexually abused as a male model. Let's listen.
In this industry, really quickly, I'm a male model. I've been signed in London and across Europe. I've been to the top of the industry. I've been to the bottom as well. I've done catwalks. I've been flown to Milan for catwalks. That's been the best. I've done editorials, commercials, definitely done billboards.
Okay, I might have to do normal speed because we gotta understand what he's saying. Where does his accent sound like it come from? British, right?
Worldwide, actually, from everywhere from Africa, Australia, America, Madison Square Gardens. I've seen myself massive. I've seen myself on Fifth Avenue. Yeah, man, some impressive stuff. The last 10 years of my career, I've got multiple stories of where I've been exploited or had sexual abuse or been lied to or disrespected. And it's led to me sometimes having the worst mental health you could imagine. But yeah, it's been a very difficult road, actually. I've come to realize if you want to make it to the top, you have to sell a part of your soul somewhere. Wow. You're going to have to acquiesce somewhere. You may have to get involved in something sexual. It's not what everyone thinks in this industry, trust me. There's a lot of abuse. My first red flag in this industry.
Come on now. He said in order to make it to the top, you're going to have to change. No, he said you're going to have to sell a part of your soul. You're going to have to be involved in something. So now I'm looking at all the models. I'm looking at Naomi. I'm looking at Tyra. I want to hear from Cynthia Bailey. I want to hear from Kamora Lee Simmons. Who else? I want to hear from Tyson Beckford. I want to hear from what's the one married to Victoria Beckham? David Beckham. I'm just saying.
Industry was my first ever casting. I got told to go to a university in central London and I turned up. This man said to me, you're a model now, you need to just be comfortable being naked. You're going to go to Paris and Milan and New York, you need to be able to dress really quickly. So I got naked. Well, I was in my boxers and he said, no, you have to get fully naked. You can hold yourself, but get naked. And so I did. Found out when I went back to my agency that day that no one even knew who that man was.
Wow.
A lot of people think that this industry is super glamorous. I can tell you, for someone who's gone to Fashion Week in Milan for many years, we are treated like absolute dogs. We sleep in hostels and in squalor. The agency only respect you if you get that massive job. If you're on set and you mention that you feel uncomfortable, to be honest, you're just that's you finished. You're not going to get the job.
Wow. So they damn near force you without forcing you, but kind of forcing you to just get assaulted and be okay with it. If you speak, what was I just telling y'all about this industry? It's like you got to just be quiet, lay down, take it, get ducked, get sucked, get tucked, get cream pie, feel like a Twinkie on a cold Sunday morning, and you just got to hope that you still make it to the top. That's the thing. See, it's one thing to get tucked, get sucked, get plucked, and get filled like a Twinkie, and you make it to the top. You want to be on top, right? But imagine getting tucked, getting sucked, getting ducked, getting bucked, and getting filled like a Twinkie on a cold Sunday morning, and you don't make it. And you end up being a nobody. Bitch, I'm burning the house down. That would make me burn the house down. That would make, I'd be like, you know what? I'm coming back. I'm shooting up all this shit. I sure is. Doing all that and you still don't get nowhere. You still end up working a regular job. You still end up on poverty line. Another person who spoke out about this was Sneeko. A lot of y'all might not know who Sneeko is. He's technically, he's banned from YouTube. So, but I can pull up a picture. Sneeko. Model. Let's see. Let me look before because I don't want to pull up nothing crazy. Okay, that's Sneeko there. So he's a streamer. I think he's over there on Kick. No, he's on Rumble. He built a brand on YouTube. He got banned and completely wiped off YouTube probably like 2 years ago. Because I was still in Atlanta. I remember doing a story about it. Then he got an exclusive deal over there at Kick, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he used to model. And he even talked about, like, I had to quit after, you know, I posed nude a couple times. It just felt weird. That's a picture of him today. That's a picture of the modeling days. Let's see. It's another one there. You know, pretty much all the models, though. Yeah, like that's considered high fashion. They all kind of do the men like that, though, where you have to like, yeah, like be really, really, well, one, be really, really thin, and you do wear and push things that are gender non-conforming. I'm gonna pull up that interview he did too. Let's see. Let's go here. Right. You know who else the industry did that too? That Prison Bay guy. I'm gonna pull him up too.
Reveals a lot about fashion.
It's a similar thing. Like drugs will open up a portal, and that's seen in Eyes Wide Shut when Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman are having that argument when she starts saying that she wants to go fuck the naval officer right before she's smoking weed.
Can I just talk about it though?
And then they start to slowly piece you together. Here, wear this dress, wear this corset, wear this thing, right? It's kind of a weird thing they do. So you see, they kind of get you high. So you're very much reflective. You kind of feel good. You're in your thoughts. You're stripped from all the ego, all the masculinity, all the things that make you a man, right? You're just stripped from it. And then they start to slowly piece you together. Here, wear this dress, wear this corset, wear this thing, right? It's kind of a weird thing they do, but that's what they do to people in Hollywood. That's what you need to understand about Hollywood emasculating men, right? They want to convert people gay. And Sneeko is a perfect example. I can't believe you didn't share this story earlier.
So he gives me like this corset thing. This picture's like all over the internet. He's wearing this. I'm sure you've seen it. It's like this thing, whatever. It's this white thing. Put it on. And then take some pictures. It's like goes in Vogue and this stuff. And then he tells me like he wants me to. He's like, okay, now let's do this. Let's do the bra. It's like it's just expression. They're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to wear that. And then just ends the shoot. And then the shoot's over. None of the photos really like it didn't help. I didn't book anything from it. But if you think about it, that entire process was a test from the industry. They were trying to break you down. They're trying to see how far they could take you. They're trying to see, can I make this guy? Am I going to be able to own him? Can I get him high? Can I let him wear whatever we want?
And do anything. Boom. So now let's go back to this here. And there.
I've seen it happen so many times that people just acquiesce and they keep their head down and they just don't stand with their morals. There's a lot that happens as well with like grooming and stuff like that. People like kind of groom you, touch you in certain ways. It's hard for me to even say, man, I hate this stuff. But like, there's been times when I've been in a long casting and the director will come up and like stroke your hair, run their fingers across your elbow, and you know what they're trying to suggest. Do you want this job? Like, let's talk. There's a lot of drug abuse. I know the women in Milan, they go crazy on taking the drugs because it literally will keep you slim. If you're like taking a lot of cocaine, you're just going to be slimmer. You don't really have the appetite to eat a lot, and you'll hit them targets. The best after party or the most insane after party I ever went to, there was like a cougar walking around in this mansion and they had parrots, because this isn't wealth that you can't understand. Everything's gold. And just open up a drawer and it's just like all the marijuana on the top and then all the
subtitles off.
The cocaine and the ketamine and all the pills and the ecstasy and the MDMA.
The Tulsi!
In 2019, actually, I was in a big designer's house. It was the most money I've ever seen. It's the most cocaine I've ever seen in my life. the designer handed me like maybe like an ounce of weed, just like, just take this. And yeah, long story short, that night, he kept on just like pressing his body up against me, telling me he wanted me to reveal myself. That's what he kept saying. Reveal yourself, reveal yourself. I actually remember taking a knife from their kitchen, and I had a torch, and I slept like this, like within like an X on the bed, and I had to put cupboards and fucking sofas and shit in front of the door because he kept on knocking on the door saying, in the morning I'm gonna wake you up. I'm gonna convince you to reveal yourself. I don't have any money, so it's not like I can just order my own taxi out of this place.
All right. So he went to a designer's house. Yeah, Bad Bunny's enough, but see, Bad Bunny is openly bisexual though, so that's a whole nother thing. But this was a male model who had to do a shoot at a designer's house, right? Sent there by the agency. He's broke. He has no money. He can't just leave, right? He has to be transported there and wait to be transported out, okay? The photographer's trying to get him to get nude on camera, to do whatever. We already know, pressing up his body up against him. Y'all know what it is. But listen to what he said. I grabbed some knives from the cupboard. I barricaded myself in a room, put sofas up against the door. Wait. Don't that sound just like Don Richards and what she said in that Diddy lawsuit where she saw him and a bunch of people running a train on an individual? And she barricaded herself in a room to protect herself. Don't that sound just like Keke Palmer when she barricaded herself in a closet? It's making more and more sense to y'all now. And this is why when we see these former celebrities, whether it's musicians, actors, models, whatever, and people want to call them has-beens or this, that, and the third, just know they probably just did not want to play the game. When you see people that are really, really talented just quit out of nowhere, they probably just did not want to play the game. Same thing even with WWE.
Have to wait for them to tell me that I can go. He's never spoke to me since. We were friends, but since that night, because I simply said no, never spoke to me since. And then your career is over, by the way, as well. One word from one of these people, you'll be blacklisted. If you've got a big designer saying don't work with this person, you're finished. And it's just a small example of how all you've got to do, man, is just suck that man's dick or have sex with this person here or do something dark, and you'll really fly in this industry really quickly. And after I started speaking out about some of this stuff, so many people started coming to me telling me their experiences. Surprisingly, a lot of men as well. And most people, when they think about the modeling industry, they think it's older men abusing women. The most sexual abuse I've had is from someone younger than me when it was a man. It definitely just isn't kind of like the old school idea of like these old men creeping up on these young models. I'd know that say there's just as much abuse.
Hey, did you know you might get a big cash payout if you were in a car accident in the last?
Let's see.
Are not a terribly easy group of people to feel sorry for, but as you're about to see, many fresh faces find modeling to be a surprisingly unglamorous and unprofitable job. We welcome Pedro Andrade now from our sister network Fusion with this report for Nightline.
What do we got going on today? Yeah.
The glamorous life of a male model. That's what 23-year-old Cameron Keesley dreamed of.
1, 2, 3, nice, yes.
It would be quick, easy money. You know, I'd be making, thousands upon thousands of dollars for, not doing anything.
Cameron was branded a new face to watch by models.com. His look even getting Snoop Dogg's attention on Instagram. Despite the attention from the modeling circle, he found himself $10,000 in debt and not making enough money to pay it off.
I haven't made a single penny. I'm in debt all over.
Beautiful, tall, thin, got the looks, but you broke. And this is another reason why so many people hate on us as content creators, and why they even hate on the OnlyFans models. Whether it's the males or the females. Well, really, the females get to hate. The males really don't. I don't even know why they was trying to so-called get me hate. I don't even understand it, but whatever. On all those magazines are still in debt. Yes. Most of them don't make a lot of money. Beautiful, you mean handsome? No, I mean, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Please don't police my words. This is somebody who you look at his face, it's symmetrical. This is a 9. I wouldn't say a 10, but definitely a 9. Somebody that's damn near perfect according to what society says is attractive. And you broke? But they hate on the OnlyFans models today because they don't have to go through this, and they can make their bag. And if you're gonna pose, you might as well give it direct to the consumer, and you don't have to go through this. A lot of those people on magazines, billboards, everywhere. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, a man can definitely be beautiful. Like, I'm not gay, I'm just keeping it real. No, some men, they just are. Just like some women are handsome, but that's not necessarily a compliment. But especially some of the women that be studs and shit, some gonna be looking handsome. But that's what society did. But you get my point. You get my point. You get my point. Fame, but no money. You know who else is a good example of that? And I don't know him like that, but Marshall Price. Model, does some acting as well, but where does he make the majority of his money? Content, social media. Slutting itself out, just keeping it real. Selling sex. But his face is everywhere. I remember I was looking at these apartments. I seen him in the damn commercials for the apartments. I said, damn. It's interesting. It's like it really ain't no money in the industry unless you just gonna give up everything.
For the world right now, but the only thing I've gained is life experience.
This is the reality for men who dream of modeling, an industry dominated by women. Gisele Bündchen, formerly Victoria's Secret's top angel, is the highest paid model in the world according to Forbes magazine, earning $44 million. And right behind her is Victoria's Secret formerly second top angel, Doutzen Crew, earning $8 million. While the highest paid male model is making way less. Sean O'Pride only made $1.5 million. And coming in at number 2, the face of Dolce & Gabbana, David Gandy, making $1.4 million. The reason, Kate Krause, an agent in New York City.
And it's the same thing in corn. The men really don't make the money like the women, but here's the point. He made $1.5 million being the face of whatever, but what did he have to do? What did he have to do? Yeah, you're right. Like women make less in basketball. That's a good point. That's a good point.
It tells us it's simple economics.
Oh, and you know who else go through this too? Ooh, it's so much I'm gonna be digging into. No Diddy, but it's so many stories. Because guess who else deals with the sexual assault, not really being paid what they worth, being thrown away like yesterday's garbage? Them athletes. When are the brothers, the ex-NFL players, ex-NBA players, when they gonna be ready to come to the forefront and talk about the sexual assault they dealt with from their coaches, assistant coaches, other team players, not really making no money? Everybody can't be a LeBron James. Being sent home, not making it, having to get a job, having to become a gym teacher at a high school. Oh yeah. When a lot of these pastors and preachers gonna come out and talk about what they had to do to get in certain positions in the church. This world is built off of you being broke in and making some kind of sacrifice to get to high power positions. It don't matter if you work at like a white collar job, if you're in corporate America, entertainment, sports, it really don't matter. Just even think about how many jobs you've had where you like, how is this bitch my supervisor? How is this bitch my manager? Oh, okay. She slept with the boss. Oh, okay. This life is really about using what you got to get what you want. I'm not, I'm not, promoting prostitution, but you get my point. Let's really talk about it. And I told y'all, one of the biggest things past the models, but one of the biggest things you got to look out for is when you see these men tattoo themselves from head to toe for no reason. That's one of the telltale signs that something happened.
I mean, personally, I think that the fashion industry is of a high demand. There's much more catalogs, e-commerce sites, websites, clothing companies, and I think that the female model has a bigger stature than the male model.
The truth is, life as a male model is far from a dream. I know because I used to be one. As a teenager, I was discovered near the beaches of Rio. I went from Brazil to Europe, Asia, and finally, New York City. There were plenty of struggles, believe me, but I was extremely lucky. But some are not. When Cameron moved to New York, he moved to this apartment with other aspiring models. This place cost Cameron...
Damn. Hold up. Before we move on, I show the last video. Look how they living. Look how they be living. Gigi says, Storm, you all tattooed. Oh, no. I had my tattoos for a different reason. But I'm still not all there in the head. I love the feeling and the pain and the tattoos. I love the whatever is released in my brain when I'm being tattooed. I damn near get off on that, Gigi, if I'm going to tell you the truth. We'll talk about that on another live. Anyway, look how they living. Like, oh my God, I would love to live in New York City, but not living like this.
$1,200 a month.
I was pretty happy with the model's apartment, but then again, I'm happy with.
Okay. All right. Moving on from that.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Travis, and today I'm going to be telling you guys the story of why I left modeling. Because in last week's poll, you guys asked me to tell you this story, so today I'm going to be sharing it with you. Modeling was a really cool time in my life, and I got to do some really amazing things because of it. So I'm very grateful for that chapter, but it was also a very hard chapter. So I figured, because your guys' perception of modeling is probably a little different than the reality, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it was really like being a model, and also the reason why I left. So with that said, let's get started. So the story takes place a long time ago. I was scouted on MySpace, and my first agent was this agent in this very small agency in New York City. After 6 months of talking to me while I was going to school in Colorado, he convinced me to move to New York City. He was really nice. He was a really, really good friend of mine for a long time, but he was kind of new to what he was doing. And because of that, I don't think I had the best experience being led into the modeling world because I didn't have a lot of protection. I was from Colorado, and I just thought that everyone had my best interest in mind, and everyone...
So, really nice kid, gullible. Y'all already know.
Was my best friend, and everyone wanted to help me out. That's not the case. That's not how the real world works, let alone modeling. So when I first got into the industry, I was taken advantage of quite a bit. I was a very trusting person, and I just thought everyone was nice and had my best interest in mind, which is not the case. So a lot of these horror stories are very typical modeling horror stories, which I'm not going to get into because I feel like they happen to almost every model that I know. But basically, it's photographers trying to sleep with you that you would never normally sleep with, agents prostituting you off to people who can promise you a job if you sleep with them, or photographers photographers convincing you to get naked, then taking photos of you and selling those pictures to magazines without your permission. All that stuff was happening. All that stuff did happen to me. It's just part of what comes with the territory of being a male model, because male models are not respected in the slightest. Female models generally have a better experience than male models because female models get paid like 6 to 10 times more than a male model does for the same job, and they're much more respected and protected, but male models are not. Anyway, I stayed in New York for about 6 months. I didn't work very much while I was there. I got like a magazine cover. I did a couple of shows and a couple of magazines, but nothing really that big. But then December of that year, I booked my very first big show, which was Louis Vuitton in Paris. I flew out to Paris for a week and it was really amazing. It was such an awesome experience. They were very professional. After that, I started traveling quite a bit. I moved from Miami to Milan to Athens to London. I think I'm forgetting another place. But basically, I traveled between all of those places, especially in Europe because that's where I worked the most. As I started traveling between all these different places, I started losing track of my money because I was working so many jobs in all those different countries that I couldn't keep track of where it was coming from, when I had been paid. Also, agencies had this nice little way of charging you for things that you don't know what you're paying for. And so sometimes you'll book like a $3,000 job and you'll only get like $400 from that $3,000 because they deduct a ton of expenses that you didn't know that you were paying for. So one thing
I'll leave that there. So y'all telling me that ain't slavery? That ain't pimping? You book a shoe for $3,000 and I only get 400 of that? I'm coming to shoot some shit up. I'm gonna be left out Lopez from TLC because you got me twisted. So then you look at these folks and you be like, you know what? Maybe my regular life is not that bad after all. Do they not negotiate the contract? Listen, it ain't even about negotiating the contract. The problem is when you book shoots through an agency, the agency is paid and then the agency pays you. So it don't even matter what's in your contract. The agency is in control of your money. And a lot of times you're not even getting a check until like 3 to 6 months after you've done the shoot. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that there. Y'all got any other comments? I'm about to go break my fast and eat. Y'all got any comments? We'll be back later, of course. And the shoots are scared. Yes. Yep. Oh, I wanted to show y'all Prison Bay. That's what I was talking about. He done got so thin. I'm like, the industry taking a toll on him too. Prison Bay, Jeremy Meeks. Yeah, 2024. Jeremy Meeks. Yeah. If you look, don't get me wrong, he always had a sculpted face, but he had more muscle tone. If you look at him now, hey, shout out to Lil Jones. Not saying I would offend you. You know what? Ah, man. Like, look how thin he done got. Like, A. Cashapp said he all coked out with a Snow Bunny billionaire heiress. Listen, I'm just saying. No, he got with a billionaire. She ain't a millionaire. She's a billionaire heiress. Y'all think that's drug? I don't know. I ain't putting that on him, but I'm just saying. He's been modeling this, that, and the third. They want a certain look. It's
Storm Show. Ay, it's Storm Show.